Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Alright, let's dive into this swirling rumor that's been lighting up the NFL grapevine. Chris Jones, yes, a dominant defensive tackle known for wrecking offensive lines, could be heading to the Miami Dolphins. Imagine that the idea itself has already sent waves through the league, sparking endless speculation among fans and insiders alike. Chris Jones, a force on the defensive front, teaming up with Miami's young quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, sounds like a strategic masterstroke. The chatter is that Miami is looking to bolster its defense in a way that not only stifles opposing offenses, but also provides Tua with the kind of protection he desperately needs to avoid collapsing under pressure. With Jones potentially joining the Dolphins, the team's defensive front would be significantly reinforced, giving Tua the breathing room to unleash his potential. It's the sort of move that could reshape the AFC East balance, turning Miami into a formidable contender. The rumor mill suggests that the Dolphins front office sees Jones as the missing piece, someone who could anchor the defensive line and elevate the entire defense to an elite level. This isn't just about adding another star, it's about creating a fortress around their young signal caller to ensure his development and success. Now the whispers around the league hint that Miami's interest in Chris Jones isn't just casual. The Dolphins are reportedly in talks trying to hammer out a deal that could bring Jones into their fold. The move would be a clear message of intent from Miami, showing they're serious about building a championship caliber team around Tua Tagovailoa. Considering Jones's track record as a disruptive force, his ability to penetrate backfield sack, quarterbacks and pressure offenses is exactly what Miami's defense has been missing. The narrative that's gaining traction suggests that Jones's arrival could transform the Dolphins' defense from good to elite, creating a balance between offense and defense that's crucial for playoff success. In addition, Jones' presence could act as a psychological boost for Tua, who has faced criticism for being vulnerable under pressure. This move could signify Miami's commitment to protecting their franchise quarterback, addressing one of the most glaring weaknesses in their current setup. It's a storyline that has fans buzzing, wondering if this defensive powerhouse can truly become the shield Miami needs. Diving deeper into the strategic implications, the potential signing of Chris Jones by the Dolphins would ripple across the entire league. Teams in the AFC East and beyond would have to recalibrate their game plans, knowing that Miami's defensive front just gained a game-changing asset. Jones' blend of size, strength, and agility makes him a nightmare for offensive coordinators, and his presence alone can alter blocking schemes and offensive strategies. The rumor further posits that Miami's defensive coordinator is excited about the prospect of integrating Jones into the system, envisioning creative ways to maximize his impact. For Tua, having a player like Jones up front means less pressure to make perfect decisions quickly, allowing him to develop his game with more confidence. This rumored move could be a pivotal chapter in Miami's quest to rise from playoff hopeful to legitimate contender. The speculation is that Jones could be the cornerstone of a defensive identity that Miami has long sought but never quite solidified. This possibility also stirs the debate about how much a single player can influence a team's trajectory, especially when that player can essentially blindfold the quarterback's worries. Adding fuel to the fire sources close to the Dolphins, front office have hinted that the team is willing to make significant cap space adjustments to accommodate a player of Chris Jones' caliber. This is no small feat given the current salary cap constraints across the league. The whispers suggest that Miami might be ready to sacrifice some depth in other positions or restructure contracts to bring Jones aboard. This level of commitment indicates the high value they place on Jones's potential impact, especially in providing Tua with a defensive line that can absorb pressure and create game-changing plays. The rumor emphasizes that this is more than a band-aid solution, it's a strategic investment for the next several seasons. Jones, if signed, would not only be a physical presence, but also a veteran leader, someone who can mentor younger players and help shape the defensive culture. Fans are eager to see if Miami's management will pull the trigger on this big move, turning speculation into reality. The idea that Jones could be the guardian that shields Tua from collapse is a tantalizing prospect for those dreaming of Dolphins glory. From a player perspective, Chris Jones joining the Dolphins would represent a significant shift in his career trajectory. The rumors have it that Jones is considering the opportunity to be the centerpiece of a defense built around him rather than just another cog in a system. Miami's project with a young quarterback like Tua Tagovailoa and a hungry roster could be an enticing challenge for Jones to cement his legacy as a transformative player. The buzz also suggests that Jones sees potential in Miami's coaching staff and believes that the team is on the cusp of something special. This narrative paints a picture of a mutually beneficial partnership, where Jones gets to showcase his talents in a prime role while Miami gains the kind of defensive anchor that can elevate the entire squad. The notion that Jones would embrace this challenge adds layers to the rumor, making it more than just a business transaction. It's about legacy leadership and the quest for greatness. Meanwhile, Tua supporters are holding their breath, hoping this defensive reinforcement will finally give their quarterback the support he's needed to thrive in the harsh NFL environment. On the tactical side, Chris Jones' arrival in Miami could drastically alter how opposing offenses approach their game plans. The speculation is that with Jones clogging running lanes and collapsing pockets, opponents might be forced to rethink their entire offensive strategy against the Dolphins. This would open up opportunities for Miami's offense, as defenses would have to allocate extra blockers or change their blocking schemes to account for Jones' disruptive presence. The rumor further points to a domino effect: improved defensive pressure leads to quicker offensive possessions, which could help Tua keep his rhythm and confidence high. Analysts are already debating how Jones' style of play fits with Miami's defensive schemes, and the buzz is overwhelmingly positive. The chatter in league circles is that Jones has the versatility to fit multiple defensive looks, giving Miami an edge in tactical flexibility. If this move comes to fruition, it might not just be about protection. It could be about Miami fundamentally changing their identity into a defensive powerhouse that controls the game tempo. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments what's your take on the Fins this week. Beyond the tactical and strategic, the cultural impact of bringing Chris Jones to Miami is also a hot topic in these rumors. Jones is known not only for his on-field dominance, but also for his leadership qualities and work ethic. The gossip suggests that his presence could galvanize the locker room, inspiring younger players to elevate their game and fostering a winning mentality. Miami has been chasing a culture shift for some time, and Jones might be the kind of veteran presence that accelerates that transformation. Tua in particular could benefit from this cultural infusion, gaining confidence from having a respected teammate who embodies toughness and resilience. The narrative swirling around the Dolphins camp is that this potential signing could spark a renewed sense of belief and purpose throughout the team. Fans and commentators alike are speculating that Jones' influence might extend beyond it, field shaping Miami's identity into a team that's tough to beat in all phases of the game. The rumors paint a picture of a franchise ready to embrace a new era with Chris Jones at the heart of it. From a financial standpoint, the rumors around Chris Jones moving to Miami indicate some complex negotiations underway. The Dolphins reportedly are prepared to offer a lucrative contract that reflects Jones' elite status and his potential to change the team's fortunes. The talks hint at a multi-year deal with incentives tied to both individual and team success, which would align Jones' ambitions with the franchise's goals. The chatter is that Miami is balancing their cap space delicately, knowing that signing Jones means committing a large chunk of their budget to defense. This move could influence future free agency and draft strategies, as the team might prioritize complementary players who fit around Jones' skill set. The speculation around the contract talks adds another layer to the story, making the potential signing not just about on-field impact, but also about long-term roster building. Observers are curious whether Miami's gamble will pay off, setting a precedent for aggressive moves to protect and elevate their young quarterback. Looking at the broader NFL landscape, the rumor of Chris Jones becoming a Dolphin sends ripples far beyond Miami. Rival teams are said to be monitoring the situation, closely aware that adding a player of Jones' caliber could shift power dynamics in the conference. The speculation is that New England Buffalo and the rest of the AFC East will need to respond strategically to counterbalance Miami's new defensive threat. This could spark a series of moves throughout the league, from trades to draft picks, as teams adjust their blueprints in response. The buzzing rumor also fuels debates among analysts about the best way to build around a quarterback like Tua, whether by stacking offensive weapons or reinforcing the defense. Miami's potential acquisition of Jones might tip the scales toward defense-first strategies. It's the kind of narrative that keeps fans on the edge, wondering if this move will mark a turning point in Miami's quest to reclaim AFC East dominance. The rumor has already sparked an avalanche of what-ifs and could-bes that make NFL offseason chatter so addictive. Finally, the human element cannot be ignored in this swirling rumor about Chris Jones heading to Miami. The whispers suggest that the potential move is as much about trust and fit as it is about football. Sources claim that Jones has built a rapport with some members of Miami's coaching staff and front office, making the idea of joining the Dolphins feel less like a gamble and more like a well-considered decision. The narrative implies that both sides see this as a partnership aimed at mutual growth and success. For Tua, having a player like Jones in the trenches could mean the difference between a career defined by what could have been and one filled with achievements and playoff runs. The speculation closes on a hopeful note. If this deal happens, it could be a defining moment for Miami's franchise, turning talk into action and aspirations into reality. The rumor is alive, buzzing louder by the day as the NFL world waits to see if Chris Jones will indeed become the guardian angel Tua Tagovailoa has long needed. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.